Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome back. So over the past few years that we've been covering monster taming on this channel, there have been many games that for one reason or another needed to pause development or keep things private. And in today's video, we're going to be exploring some monster taming games that I really want to hear from in 2023. Now, I just want to say first and foremost, this video is not to shame or pressure developers into making the game faster or to make them work on the game when they're not able to or whatever, but instead more so a video discussing and showing off the fact that despite things being quiet on these developers' ends, we have not forgotten about their games and we're still excited for them. Now, that being said, I just want to reiterate that a lot of these games are either on hold or have been kind of quiet for personal reasons. For example, one of the developers of one of the games I'm going to mention just had a baby. Another developer has had things going on in their personal lives, and some of these games might be on hold due to something that's up with their publisher. Some developers might still be working on the game but have nothing to show because of the boring coding stuff, etc, etc, etc. So I just want to say not to bug any of these developers or try to pressure them after this video. We're just keeping it chill here. Anyways, basically what we're going to be doing is going over why I think some of these games are really cool, because if I didn't think they were cool, they wouldn't really be on the list. There are plenty of other games that have gone on hold or hiatus or have been canceled for varying reasons, and eventually I will cover a lot of these games in our Where Are They Now segment, where I sort of keep up with various games. But today let's just talk about why these games are interesting and why I really want to see some new content in some shape or form from them in 2023. We've got a wide variety of different monster taming experiences here, so make sure to sit back, relax, and let's dive in. All right, so we're not going to do this in a typical list format. We're going to keep it a little more casual and sort of just discuss each game, I guess, more dynamically. And like I said earlier, just keep it chill. So first of all, and I'm not going to spend too much time here because we literally just talked about this game like a couple weeks ago, but I want to see more from dokev. The game captivated a lot of people by its concept back in 2019, with it originally being an MMO and then sort of reinventing itself in 2021 as an action-adventure title, but has since gone quiet, and it's been roughly a year since we've heard anything about the game. Some people have stated that it's because Pearl Abyss is working on something else, and I actually have a video titled What's Up with dokev that you can check out, but all I want to say is, come on, Pearl Abyss, stop blueballing us here. Because of the tendency to sort of go crazy with updates and then just go absolutely silent, people have become skeptical about the game because it's just strange what's going on. It's like they're marketing it, but then they give up, then they market it, and then they give up, etc. So I definitely like to see more from the game, see what's going on. Next up, we have a very interesting title, and the reason why this game has been on hiatus is because the developer, aka YouTuber Heartbeast, did have their fourth child, which, by the way, if you're watching, man, congratulations again. But basically, if you don't know, Heartbeast is a YouTube channel that creates various coding guides. I used to watch them way back in the day. I think it was either for Game Maker 7 or Game Maker 8 tutorials. But last time I checked out the channel, I know they were doing a lot of Godot stuff. But anyways, he's created a game called Demonlocke, which is a really interesting active time battle monster taming game with a dark aesthetic and no text, which will make it very interesting. The game's also going to have randomized routes between major areas, which will be randomized once per run, which adds that kind of replayability to the mix. It looks pretty dope. Keeping that sort of dark theme, we also have Necromancer's Gift, a monster taming roguelike, which unfortunately, due to personal reasons, as stated on the Kickstarter campaign, has undergone some delays, but nevertheless is a very unique looking monster taming game inspired by Slay the Spire, and the concept itself is really weird and intriguing. It's basically you're playing as some old dude who lost his dog in a cave, which turns out to be the Necromancer's lair, and you must travel to the deepest depths of said lair in order to retrieve it. Along the way, you'll have to tame and utilize various monsters in combat, and I guess fight the Necromancer at the end, maybe? I'm not too sure, but in terms of what I'd like to see for this game, I'd love if we could get some sort of alpha or beta build this year that we can actually publicly share. There's not a whole lot of footage for me to show because of the fact that the prototype is not currently streamable, so that's kind of what I'm looking forward to. I'd love to like play it with you guys. Next up, we have another game that had a Kickstarter that really kind of captivated a lot of people, that being the action combat cyberpunk-like title Laxidaze, where you can team up with various beasts and utilize them in combat alongside your player from a third-person perspective. Now, this game has had kind of an interesting reason for why it's been quiet. Basically, after the Kickstarter went live and completed, the developers were trying to start from scratch, moving from Unity to Unreal, because I guess just Unity couldn't fit their needs. But it has been quite some time since we've seen absolutely anything from the game. So I'm hoping that on the back end things are going well and they do start to showcase something, because there is much more of a responsibility to keep your fans updated after crowdfunding has occurred. So I'm definitely hoping 2023 is sort of the return of laxidaze in terms of updates and showing what's going on in the game, because the game has a really cool concept with different classes, a bunch of different cool looking monster designs, and is one of the better looking 3D monster taming games. Finally, last but not least, you might remember this game from one of my Monster Taming Games You Never Knew videos, where I basically explore monster taming games that you probably didn't know existed. But in it, I discussed a game called Nexomon, which admittedly is really early development with a lot of sprites and whatnot not being finalized, but this is a Pokemon-like title that so far looks pretty good in my opinion, especially for something that's really early development. I do think the overworld sprites could use some work, but the in-battle stuff looks great and gives me that sort of Gen 3 vibes. And since I made the video, there hasn't really been any announcements or teasers or anything like that. I think on their Twitter page, the last thing they have posted was actually a retweet of my video, but I'm hoping that this year that changes. Now, like I stated in that video, there isn't a whole lot we know about the game just yet, and I'm basing this mostly on aesthetic, but I'm a sucker for good pixel art, and mix that with a fun story-driven Pokemon-esque experience, and what can I say? I'm all in. But yeah, guys, those were some of the games that have kind of gone a little bit quiet that I'd really like to hear from this year. It doesn't have to be anything crazy like a release date, a release itself, a massive update, or anything. I would just like to see that these games have re-entered development in sort of a public capacity, and the reason I feel this way is because a lot of these games really look cool. There's definitely a lot of other games that I could have added to this list but didn't really hit me the same way as these ones did, and I wanted to also keep it concise. But yeah, given that there's so many games that have gone quiet, I would like to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Which games would you like to hear more from this year? You don't even have to talk about games that have gone quiet, just which games in general are you excited for? Also, let me know in the comments what other types of videos you'd like me to make in regards to the genre in general. I'm always open to ideas. We actually have a video ideas section in our Discord as well. But with all that being said, if you did enjoy the video, make sure to like and subscribe. You can check me out on Twitter, Discord, and Patreon, all links below. Special thanks to the patrons, especially Jim Hamilton, Dro Ghost, Dark Persona, and Exodus, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.